going on? This is OnDeck. Recently, I've been thinking about how I can maximize this setup in the small space that I do have. At the same time, the good people at Synido sent me the Tempokey 25 here. They didn't tell me what to say. They just sent me it and asked me to include it in the video, just for full transparency. And I also have this iPad, but I really don't use it that much, and I have some cool synths in there. So I set out to ask the question, can I replace an analog synth, or even just a physical synth, with a MIDI controller and the iPad? I'm not gonna lie, this one was a bit of a struggle. I tried to make a full beat just using melodic sounds from the iPad, and I was going through some presets and I wasn't really feeling it. Weird. Let's see. Not at all. But we ended up getting it done and getting a beat out of it. So stay tuned and I'll tell you what I think at the end of the video. We are here with the Tempokey 25 hooked up to the iPad with a simple hub that'll connect the MIDI controller, the SP404, and connect it to power. Let's start out with some basic chords. I think would be the right move here. I want something I can build off of here. Right now I'm working with Model 15 by Moog. It's basically like an emulation of this modular synth. I don't know how to program this thing at all, so I'm just going to be working with presets until I find something that I like. I don't know about this. Maybe there's something in there. The good thing about having this set up and having things run into the SP is that you can always hit this mark button, and that's like a skip back feature. It's just gonna capture everything you played. Since I'm not working with MIDI or anything like that at the moment, I just wanna get raw audio and then put it onto a pad, then choose my effects, so on and so forth. I do like that one ending bit. That could be a good chop, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start recording everything so that I can get more to work with, because I don't know at all what chords I want to use yet. All right. So that was the Model 15. I just used this patch called Mellow Keys, and I just played in like an A sharp minor. I'm not like a keys player by any means. I just, I know enough about music theory to get by, and then I just hit notes until stuff starts to make sense. All right, let's try some effects, some like chorus. Try 83. Now there's something we got to do to make these drums pop a little bit more, and I'll show you what that is. So firstly, we take this all out of mono, because I want to keep things organized. I'm going to do this. These will all be in a mute group, all right? And now I can layer those with the same kick, these with the same snare, maybe some perk here. You know what I mean? Because these are not in the same mute group, they're just gonna choke each other off. Let's go back to my drums, see if I got something. There you go, something nice and boomy, but a bit lower. Then these can go. Let's see if this even works, it might not. All right, let's just check these chords, see if this works. Needs to be a little dustier somehow. Now, this is where it gets a little puzzling because I have the SP sampling into here, but I also have the MPC coming out and going right back into the SP. So now I think the best move would be to find some patches that sound cool and then sample them into the MPC and sequence it within there. This is where we're going to do something interesting. We're going to pull up AUM. Now, the cool thing about AUM is I can have my synths loaded up. I can add some pre-effects to it in here, and I can switch between them quickly, so I don't really need to rely just on SP processing. The only downside is with the Tempokey K25, the keys are by default mapped to MIDI channel 1, so I can't switch between them very simply unless I was connected to the computer as well, which right now I am not. So what we do is we just solo each one. So if I just go Model D, or maybe I want to go VHS Synth, it's still going to work. However, one of the benefits of this keyboard is you see how we pitched it down by 4? I can still play in the same key. All I have to do is hit this minus transpose button, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm in the same key. I don't really have to think too hard. I can still play in the same key I was originally playing in. I don't have to switch the key I was playing in, which, you know, it makes your life a little easier. Oh, that would be good to, like, just freestyle some stuff on. I like that. I'm just gonna sample this in with some effects. Maybe some wobble. Maybe that should be an octave higher. Now we're just gonna get in like a little Model D bass line. I'm just gonna sample it in again. I think I have something I want already. All right, so we got our elements in here. We just need to throw on this compressor. It's gonna compress it super hard, so I've mixed everything super low. Let me just set up my side chains, everything like that, and then see how it sounds in a moment. And maybe it needs another perk layer just over top. So let's bounce this into the SP, see if it sounds better at different pitches, and then go from there. And that's pretty much it for the loop. We use just the iPad and the Tempokey K25 to get the sounds from the synth into the MPC, and that will bring us to the final question here, and that is, do I believe that I can replace a synth with the iPad and a MIDI controller like the Tempokey K25? Honestly, I struggled really hard to find sounds that I liked, even though I know that there's some capable apps. It was a little tough, so I'd say it depends on what you're looking for. If you're gonna get something that can you know, play a couple roles. Like maybe you'll use the iPad for video editing, or even like with Koala for beat making, and then you want to add synths. I could totally get that. But if you're getting it like as a synth replacement, I've had my hands on a decent number of synths, and I always feel a lot more inspired when I have the keys right there or the controls right there, because you kind of learn sweet spots, you kind of know what it can do and what it can't, and then you play to its strengths. And especially as someone who's like a sampled beat maker, like I'm really just looking for sounds and character above all else. After that, like, yeah, sure, you can do a lot with plugins, with anything like that, but for me, it's kind of more of like a primal thing. Like it has to feel right, and oftentimes, at least in my experience, it doesn't. Either way, we did manage to make the loop. It's not my favorite loop. We did it, we accomplished the goal, and did we answer the question? Yes, but with some stipulations. Personally, I think I'm more of a synth guy, but if you wanted to do something simple, if you had an iPad laying around, you're not utilizing it, maybe look into just getting some nice apps like the Moog apps, the Moog 15, the Model 15, the Moog. Maybe you can get things like King of FM, you can get Zeeon. There's a number of things you can do, and if you test them out and you like the sound and it feels inspiring to you, then by all means, you know I preach minimalism and using what you got. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you soon. Until next time, peace.